Craft your finest strategy and outsmart your opponents.
Shrine Guide. Welcome to a DLC pack guide. Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about Duke's Zombies. Oh, I guess I should change the card back to, there we go, Dread Knight. He's not in the deck, but let's look cool while we're playing it. Okay, so this is one of the downloadable content decks from Steam. I think they're about $10. They go on special sometimes, so if you can grab one for a reduced price, you'll be doing alright. Get some rares and some uncommons to your collection, as you can see here. Alright, let's go over the cards. So, first we have Nephros, Aspiring Necromant. You may have bought this from a hero pack already or gotten it through an unlock, but if you haven't, he's a really good hero, and he's key to the zombies archetype. And with the buff patch coming, we might see other corruption archetypes be made. So he's a good hero to have. He's a heroic Hell Unbind for good value, so you'll get a lot of shrines even if you don't need him anymore. He slows a creature down by -1 speed, so if it's 3 speed it'll go down to 2, 2 will go down to 1, 1 will go down to 0. And as we know from the last video I made, creature with 0 speed rather, cannot attack or block anything. Okay, so let's start going over the cards. So we have Noxious Fumes, which makes a creature have -2 attack and HP until end of turn. You can combo this with your 1 speed zombies and his ability into killing something. Well, let's say Undead Necromancer. So you only have a Zombie Legionnaire in the field. Use his ability and slow it down. Take it down 2 attack and 1 health. And it's a 0/1 now, and you can kill it with your Zombie Legionnaire. It's just one example. There's many ways to do this, but yeah. So it was a great card. One of the best cards in Corruption. A 1-mana removal is just, it's wonderful. Wonderful to have. And if you get a shiny copy, you're just super cool. Zombie Legionnaire, this is the kind of meat card of the deck in a lot of ways. Just a bunch of 1-drops you can just slap down the board. I mean, they're slow, but if you give them deadly, then they really start to become a problem. Rotting Remains, it's not really a card I like. What happens is, whenever it's attacking or blocking, after that, it gets a weakness emblem. So if you attack a 2/2 with this, at the end of your turn it dies, which, you know, it can be useful for feeding the Insatiable Ghoul. Throw him on turn 2, kill him, turn 3, put your Insatiable Ghoul down. He won't go to sleep, so it does have some usefulness. I think it's a pretty weak card compared to like an Aberrant Ghoul as a 2-drop. You do lose 3 life from him, as we see here, or you make him a 2/2, but overall, I'd rather be playing this than a Rotting Remains. I've definitely seen some guys run zombie archetypes with this and get lucky, but overall I just think it's a little too weak of a card for me to love it. Consume Spirit, wonderful card. It was recently nerfed. It used to take attack and HP down. Now it just takes HP, and it doesn't give you HP anymore. It just gives you attack. Still very strong. Yeah, I think it was a good nerf in a lot of ways because zombies has been out of control in the past. So yeah, basically you get to buff up a creature and take his creature down some health. So you get very good traits still from it. It's not as strong, but it's still an auto-include in a lot of mono-black decks. We just talked about Aberrant Ghoul. You do lose some life from this. You can gain it back later with Succubus, so normally you're not too worried about it if you get it early game. Mid-game, questionable. Insatiable Ghoul. So he's a good card, but he has negative synergy with Duke. So basically he pulls something out of your graveyard and stacks it back in your deck, which is a wonderful effect, unless you're trying to keep things in the graveyard to get Duke going. In this instance, we only have 2 Dukes, so you're going to have to make the choice on whether you want to play him or play Duke. It really depends on draw in a lot of circumstances, so yeah, and if you don't put a card back, he'll decay 3, so that sets him up for next turn, but it can be kind of a slow card, so you have to be prepared, and don't just throw it down and expect to have a 3/4 on the board, because he will go to bed. Duke, wonderful card. Fuzz loves to just rage about this card, and I understand, but in a lot of ways, like, we want to have mono decks that do have something to come back with, because if Zombies fails in the early game and doesn't pull Duke, they're done. They're done. There's no coming back. Like, there needs to be something in the game that can put creatures on the back of the board, because it doesn't have a lot of draw in black. So we need something that basically draws out of your graveyard, which is good. He also will replace these creatures back into your deck when they die, if they've had a weakness emblem on them. Also, he has another interesting effect where if you have 3 aspects, usually it's going to be triple black in a zombie deck, you can pay some life, bring him back onto the board. If you have zombies in the graveyard, he will also pull them out again. So it's often important to be at 2 ready to go to 3 when you play him, or already be at 3 when you play him, so he's protected, and you also get to make the choice. He doesn't automatically come back and lose you the game if you have 4 life. You get to make that choice, so be mindful of that when you're playing him, like the effects he has, when to play them, looking at your life total, all that kind of stuff. Mesmerizing Spirit, this card is generally very popular in decay decks, because or discard decks, because he just makes you throw away a card. The opponent gets to choose, which is helpful, but it's a very annoying card, easily killed, which is good. But yeah, this is just annoy your opponent kind of card. It's fun. This card is kind of like a key to make the deck work, and often you'll find him on the back line, because if he doesn't die, all of your 1-speed creatures become incredibly more annoying. If they're attacked or blocked by anything, your opponent's creature is going to die. If it's a 2/2, or even if it's a 1/1, being brought back by Duke and having a weakness emblem on, if they block or attack, they're dead. There's nothing else. Unless they have a shield or some other sort of protection, it's game over for them. So great card. I often recommend hiding it if you have to, just so the rest of your zombies keep deadly. Also, an interesting trick you can do is play him, block with him, and then bring him back with Duke. So you get kind of like double utility out of him. He does get a weakness emblem, so he is weak to some removal after that, but it's an interesting trick you can play. Tombs of the Damned. Okay, so this is just going to summon Zombie Legionnaire after Zombie Legionnaire. They are summoned creatures, though, which is important to know for interactions with other cards. Specifically, the card that summons more of these, which is not included in this deck, and I find that interesting because it's very important to zombies. But anyway, so this will just keep putting basically tokens on the field. Really great, especially if you have Deadly. It's good if Cataclysm is a problem for you, or any source of other removal. This will just keep spawning and spawning and spawning. And even if they have spell removal, this will summon another when it leaves the field. So that gives it a lot of power. It's very nice. Obviously, it's hard to play outside of mono corruption because it's double corruption level. But a very strong card. People complain about it. I think it's key to keeping zombies relevant in a lot of ways. Reanimate. Okay, so 3 mana, 1 black, 1 white. You get to bring a creature back from your graveyard on the field. Awesome for things like Duke, or Necromantic Cult, Succubus, Undead Necromancer. In this deck, at least. People often use it in Reanimate decks to bring back super, super powerful creatures. And you can summon a creature from any aspect. So if you discard all of your cards that are big, beefy creatures, you can bring any of them back for 3 mana. Really cool effect. It definitely can work in zombies. I've seen people play it in pure zombies. It slows you down a little bit for a 3 mana card, but it's cool. Infernal Tribute. This is a very annoying card, often seen in discard decks. It's basic. You pay a lot of mana, they have to kill 2 things. You can really stop your opponent's game plan here pretty well. Okay, Necromantic Cult. This is one of the coolest zombies.
he takes a long time to get going, but anytime your creature or your opponent's creature dies, you can pay a mana and give him Might Emblem. And at any time in the game, if he's not removed, you can take one off and put it on something else. So if he has 3, and your opponent has a 3/3, Might Emblem off him, Weakness Emblem, basically, on another creature. And you do that 3 times. If you have a spare mana and it dies, which it will if you put 3 on it, he gets another Might Emblem, so he goes up to a 4/4 again. A very interesting removal card and a self-buffer. It does cost some mana, but if you can get this going, get this engine running, you're going to be causing a lot of problems for your opponent. Succubus. Okay, so black has a problem with losing its life. Because the creatures are slow, it can't block. Because one of your creatures literally takes your life from you. And also, it has an effect of if you've done all your damage but you can't get any more in and you're at endgame, you draw a couple of these, you will win. If they don't have life gain and they're at 6 and you draw 2, you win. Wonderful. It basically takes the slowest part of your game, if you don't draw your dukes and you don't draw your infernal tributes, and it brings you to your win condition. You're not trying to win by life gain, you're trying to take their life down. So this can be a finisher for you. It can add sustain. If you're at low life, you can get some back and then have a 3/3 blocker who's flying. Not easily removed. This card is key to winning in a lot of circumstances. Then let's talk about the skill shrines. So Zombify out of Haunted Cemetery. 1 mana, it's super cheap. And this is a lot like Tombs of the Damned. Or, why can't I not remember the name of that card? Flesh Sculptor. Okay. So it similar effect. It'll summon another zombie if you kill something. So you play this for 1 mana, play your Noxious Fumes for another 1 mana, and you get a 1 mana card. So basically, you spent 2 mana, and you gained a mana back for that. You can use in other situations, but that's definitely a popular turn in the beginning of the game. And Sanguine the Void is just when you've run out of removal and you need to remove something to win. So you have 3 creatures on the board, they have 3 blockers, you need to do 2 damage. Just make them kill something and do the 2 damage. They'll block 2, and you win. Great card. Yeah, so let's see how many rares do you get. 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 11. So you get 11 rares, and you get a heroic out of this deck. It's pretty good value if you're trying to finish off zombies. Say you're missing your succubuses, you're missing your dukes, you're missing your skill shrines, you're missing your tombs. If you're trying to build zombies, I would totally recommend spending the $10 on this. I mean, you can try to use your luck and RNG to try to get the cards, but this is like an easy, like, I want to play zombies. Just buy this, it'll finish you out, and you can start beating people up in ranked and friendlies. Now, this isn't the current meta deck for zombies, so I'm probably going to get crushed, but let's go to a friendly and I'll talk about it. Alrighty. Okay, so this is not a bad hand to start with. We're going to keep it. I would like a 1-drop, but we'll suffer through here. So what I want to do is to get, well, I would normally get my Aberrant Ghoul out, which actually I might do. Hopefully he fireballs it. So you really generally want to get this card out early. We're playing a rush deck, so we're going to have to kind of outrush him. Okay, he's taking him down. Use the card. Very nice. So now this is a perfect opportunity to play my Insatiable Ghoul. He cannot fireball that, and I have a creature in the graveyard, so he will not exhaust. I've drawn a lot of removal. I have my Rotting Remains, which I talked about I don't really love. But if we can get another body on the board, I think that'll be a good thing. And I have so much removal that it'll be good. Plus, if I put my Rotting Remains out and he dies, the ghoul will just... he'll be killing. He will truly be killing it. So, right now we're gonna remove this guy. This is huge body, right? I should be afraid. I'm not. So we're gonna go 5 damage to face. Oh nice, he's got the Brazil card back. He's a cool kid, man. So if he keeps playing big creatures, I'm gonna start getting my Soul Prison out. I'm just gonna kill his stuff. I thought this was a rush deck, but it seems like a buff and big creature deck now, which is not something I usually see. Maybe he's trying something out. Ooh, nice. Okay, in this situation, I do want... Oh, I didn't lose anything here. Okay. We're gonna make him sack it. I've gotten my 3rd level for my Succubus. This guy's still gonna be exhausted. That's kind of the risk with him, right? Like, I just lost mana in a reanimate, which is never good. Okay, so... Okay, well I got another reanimate, that's good. So I'm gonna Necro Cult. And, we're gonna move him to the back line to protect him. He might fireball it, but we can live with that. Did we mill some creatures? Okay, good. So we have 2 zombies in the graveyard. Very helpful right now. And I can reanimate my Deadly if I want next turn too and start causing some trouble for him. Alright, let's see what he does. See, the reason why I remove that is because that really adds a lot of force to his deck. He's got a lot of goblins, right? They would have been swift last turn, and they're swift again. So I'm gonna have to do something about that rather quickly. Yeah, we're gonna keep him there. I'm gonna get rid of my reanimate just because I want some more mana on the board. And I drew another Succubus. This is really good for our sustain. So we're gonna kill 2 of his creatures here. Yes, I want a Might Emblem. Yes, I want another Might Emblem. And I do not want this on the board. Yes, I want another Might Emblem. Okay, so now we have a blocker in the front. He's gonna be live again next turn. That was a terrible play. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Let's steal some life. Let's kill both of his creatures. And I will gain 2 Might Emblems. So we're basically shutting down his offense right now while gaining life. And this is going to be a 6/6 now. So this is the huge power of Necromantic Cult. Now he does not die to things like Dragonfire. He doesn't die to the Flame Serpent, which is the 5/1 swift creature. And if he doesn't play both his cards this turn, I'm just going to Mesmerizing Spirit him. Okay. Well, he's drawn. You better play your cards, because I'm about to take them out. Okay. So this is a situation where, I'm just going to use all my Might Emblems, right? And just gain them back. And then I have to worry about things like him taking out my life, so we're going to Succubus right now. And that puts me for the win, 9 damage, it's lethal. And that's how you play Duke Zombies. I mean, his deck wasn't very strong, I'll give it that, but we still won. And that's how you do it with the DLC deck. Alright guys, enjoy, and happy spellweaving. See you soon.